Drennan Live is brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital, where our spine experts are also experts in kids. Welcome back into Drennan Live. Thanks so much for joining us today here on Valley Sports Great Lakes. Pleased to be joined now by Matt Kaulig, owner of Kaulig Racing. Thank you for taking the time to join us here today, Matt.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate that. It's good to be here.
I'm happy that you were able to take some time off on a very, very special day. It is your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you. It's been a great birthday so far, and thanks for having me on the show tonight. It's great to talk to you guys, and it's great to talk racing. And I'd rather do nothing else on my birthday except for talk racing.
Well, we appreciate that. We're glad you're here with us. And so let's get to it, of course, and just crushing the NASCAR game right now. And, a team owner right here in Ohio, it's so special to see what you and your team have been able to do. Just tell us how things are going.
Things are going really good. We've only got, 3 races left. So we've got 2 races left in the playoffs before the championship race in Phoenix. So this week we're going to Kansas, and then the following week we're going to Martinsville, Virginia, and then we finish up with the championship race in Phoenix. But things are going great. AJ Allmendinger in our 16 car is leading the playoffs. He's leading the point standings. So that's great. And then even Kaulig Racing and myself are winning the owners points. So there's an owners championship in NASCAR and there's a drivers championship in NASCAR. And right now we're leading the field in both of those. So we've got 2 drivers in the playoffs, which is AJ Allmendinger and Justin Haley. Justin Haley's about 6 points back of qualifying for the championship race. So things are going great. We feel good about going to Kansas this week. And so we're super excited about it. And hey, I guess leading the playoffs and leading the championship right now, I guess you couldn't be in a better place.
Yeah, that's great to hear, of course, and such a special moment to go through, and then what it means just to bring, a NASCAR championship to Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, no, that's it would mean a lot. We do a lot of talking about that, where we want to be Northeast Ohio's NASCAR team, and we're obviously the only NASCAR team in Northeast Ohio. So we have a whole lot of fans. We built a whole lot of fans here in Cleveland and Northeast Ohio over the last few years. And so, especially with winning races, and I think in the last couple of years we've won 14 Xfinity races, and then of course we won the Cup race a couple months ago at Indianapolis. And so we've built a lot of fans, and we try to build a lot of fans. And trying to grow NASCAR even in this area, but even throughout the country, we want people to know about Kaulig Racing. It's great for our drivers. It's great for our sponsors. It's a sponsor, driven sport. And so the more popular we can be that way and more fans, the more sponsorship, and it's just kind of how the whole game works, but it really helps winning races, and we like those trophies. So that's what we're trying to do.
It's obviously, right? Who doesn't love to have a trophy? But just for our viewers that may not know, I mean, it's pretty cool what you're doing, the success you've been able to have with your team and individually too. But just how you got into this, why this is a passion, how it became what it is right now.
Yeah, well, I started in the sport as a sponsor. So with Leaf Filter, I started a company called Leaf Filter Gutter Protection out of my house back in 2005. And have really grown that business. So we now have 130 locations in the U.S. and Canada. But started out about 8 years, had the opportunity to be a sponsor on one of the race teams and one of the race cars, and did that for a couple of years as a sponsor. And then, getting to know the owners of NASCAR and some of the other team owners and some of the executives in NASCAR, and being entrepreneurial myself. We were spending a bunch of money on sponsorship. I said, you know what? I think I could do this. I think I could start my own team. So met a guy named Chris Rice who runs our race team, and so we've been building this thing ever since. So really, we're in our 6th year at Kaulig Racing, and we started out with just one Xfinity car back 6 years ago, and now we have 3 full-time Xfinity teams in Xfinity right now. And just bought 2 charters about 6 months ago, meaning that we'll run 2 full-time teams next year in Cup. And so, so we'll have 5 full-time teams next year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and Cup Series. So I couldn't be more excited about it, but that's how we started is as a sponsor.
Very cool story and a background there. And you mentioned, looking and things are growing and they're getting bigger year by year. How is it managing all of that? Knowing what the right thing is, and there's just a lot, and hopefully growing even more when it comes to the future.
Yeah, well, it's tough. You need people. And you need a lot of resources. You need a lot of sponsorship. You need a lot of, you need a lot of buy-in from the team. But, I mentioned before that grew Leaf Filter, from one small office to now 130 offices nationwide and a bunch of businesses to go along with that. And NASCAR is nothing but it's a business as well. So, you're competing on the racetrack and you're competing with the cars, and there's a competition side of NASCAR, and then there's a business side of NASCAR. So I think we've been able to take some of our principles and some of the things that we've done building a business to building the business of Kaulig racing. So, not only winning trophies and trying to win championships, we did win the regular season championship with AJ Allmendinger, but, it just takes people. You're getting the best people. And, it takes great mechanics and great engineering and great drivers. And, we're just expanding. We just bought a second race shop. We added onto our race shop last year, or a couple of years ago. So we have a 90,000 square foot race shop down there in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then, we just bought another 40,000 square foot race shop. So it's super fun. It's like I always say sometimes it's like you're a little kid, you're building a race team. I mean, you're racing cars on a racetrack, getting trophies, and it couldn't be more fun. So we're having a lot of fun with it.
So, of course, experience winning. And as we see the video of kissing the bricks at the Motor Speedway and the emotion that went through your mind with the team, and just what a special moment that was.
It was a super special moment. And, as the days go on and as the weeks go on, it's becoming more and more special. I mean, you realize, in professional motorsport, I mean, that's about the pinnacle. I mean, NASCAR Cup Series is the pinnacle, really, of racing. And for our team to, have started a few years ago and then actually win a race at maybe the most famed racetrack in the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, is really, really special. I mean, I know we knew at the time that we were going to look back on that, even in 40 years, to say that is just a crazy accomplishment, to be able to do. But, it was a very surreal experience as well, because I went there as a kid. I went to the Indianapolis 500 every year with my family. And so kind of grew up there and watching teams win and in victory lane and kissing the bricks. And then to actually be the person in victory lane and kneeling down, kissing those bricks, just an incredible experience. So, that's what makes us fight every single day to be able to get better, to keep having those experiences and doing that time and time again.
Matt, how have you seen this sport change and grow, and how do you kind of expect it moving forward to grow even more? Like you said, your long-term goals, but for the sport in general and what you've seen.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that we bought 2 charters. So charters are basically, almost like franchises. Like in the NFL, you've got 32 football teams, and to be able to play a football game or to be in the NFL, you have to own a franchise or buy one. And so essentially we bought 2 charters, 2 franchises to run 2 full-time cars in the Cup Series next year. So that's just a thing that's been around in NASCAR for the last 5 or 6 years. So that whole system is changing, and I think NASCAR is doing a really good job with that. But, we've got a new car coming out next year that we're even testing right now. It's called the Next Generation car, and it's going to be an even playing field really for all the teams. I mean, we've taken all the cars that we built, all of NASCAR over the last several decades, and you basically throw them away. I mean, they're useless because we have a brand new car. So, NASCAR's changing. The ownership aspect of owning a team is changing, and so everybody's got a brand new car next year. So it's a very exciting time in NASCAR. But they're trying to do a way better job. Everybody's trying to do a better job of controlling costs and bringing more people, new people like myself, into the sport. I mean, we got myself. I know it's been headlines about Michael Jordan is now as part of an ownership group, with Denny Hamlin that they started this year, and then Pitbull is with Trackhouse Racing, and so it's a very exciting time in NASCAR and trying to get more diversity and more younger and different ownership in the sport, and so we're super proud to be a part of that.
You use the phrase trophy hunting often. Yep. Explain to us where that started, how it's unique to the NASCAR world.
Well, we started talking about that even a few years ago. It's very hard. It's hard to win trophies. I mean, it's a sport that is it's a costly sport. There's people that have been in it for decades, and us just getting into it. So we said we wanted to win a trophy. So what do we need to do to go win? There's different ways to race. I mean, there's some teams that go and they just try to run for points, and they try to run for, to get into the playoffs. And, some teams aren't able to run fast enough even to win trophies. So we wanted to make sure that we said our number one goal is to hunt trophies and to win trophies. And so I guess if you use a tagline and say, we're trophy hunting, what are you doing today? Well, we're trying to run good and let's see what happens. Nope, let's go win trophies. Let's go hunt trophies. So we trophy hunt, and good thing we've been catching some of
them. Matt Kaulig, thank you so much. Congrats on all the success, and we wish you nothing but the best moving forward. Hopefully talk to you soon. We really enjoyed having you here on Drennan Live.
All right, thanks, guys.
And
appreciate
happy
what
birthday.
You guys do.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right, make sure you guys keep it right here on Drennan Live. Coming up next, it is time for Social Spotlight. That's all next. Keep it here on Valley Sports Great Lakes.